little more difficult with the loss of Lamar?
But at least to my understanding, nothing has happened. Obviously everybody's heard stuff, but that's an area that Mitch handles, and I have not heard anything from him. I know right now he has not been at training camp because we've given him permission to stay away based on the events of the last couple of days. We know that's tough on him, his family, it's tough on anybody, and so we had given him permission to stay away.
But even at that, though, if it is true that he's going to Dallas, why the Mavericks, of all people, the team that destroyed this team in the playoffs last year?
First of all, I don't want to speculate on it, but that's the personnel decisions are made by Mitch Kupchak and Jim Buss, and I just coach the team, so I'm not sure what's going on right now, but I know that Lamar has permission to stay away from training camp until he gets himself right.
So that being said, what about the adjustments that you will make in his place?
Well, I haven't thought much about those quite yet. I still imagine the team with the bigs that they have and the perimeter players that they have, and so our game plan doesn't change. We've gone into training camp with a certain game plan, practice-wise, not only practice-wise, but style of play for both ends of the floor, and that's still going to take place. So no adjustments as of yet.
Coach, you talked about in the opening media session about how you would adjust your teachings based on the first couple of days because you're going to have to see how they were learning. How's that gone so far?
It's been great. I tell you, this team is extremely intelligent and they're willing and hard workers. And so that makes our job as coaches very easy. So we don't have to adjust much. Everything that we put down, we've gotten to for the most part. There are a few drills that we hadn't gotten to because I've been a little long-winded, but I'm very pleased at where we are right now. Unless you know something that I know, Mitch has not told me. He might have contacted you before me. I don't know, but from my understanding, he's still on our roster. We had given him permission to stay away these first few practices during training camp because of the events of the last couple of days, and so that's what he's doing.
And Mike, how do you build a team when the team is still changing? I mean, it was already going to be hard in this compressed amount of time, right?
But that's the thing about the NBA. I think any sport, really, or life in general, you have to anticipate that there are going to be changes because nothing is forever and ever. And as a coach, that's part of the reason why I get paid, or that's part of my job description, is to be ready to make adjustments if need be. And right now we haven't had to, so we're just taking it one day, one practice at a time.
So all this time we thought the biggest question for you guys is going to be all this time we thought the biggest question for you was how you'd replace Bill, right? It's not even an issue for you anymore, right?
The last couple of days have been very entertaining to say the least. Been a little bit different, but you know what? I've been through a few of these different changes and stuff like that through the course of my coaching career.
In the brief time you've had, have you been surprised or impressed by any individual's ability that you didn't know, perhaps, or something that stuck out to you? Anyone on the roster that's really?
You know what? I've been impressed with a lot of guys' abilities, and you coach against them, so you don't know how intelligent they are, how easily they pick up on things. And Powell set out that first practice, and he practiced the second time, and I tell you, I wouldn't, if I was watching, I wouldn't have known that he missed the first practice. I mean, he jumped right in with the guys. He picked up on the concepts very well, and he looked good. So, but having said that, everybody looks good.
With all these trade rumors going on, first with CP3, now with Dwight Howard, I know the players are thinking about it. Has it been a distraction at all for these first couple of days of training camp?
I don't think it has. I mean, you'd have to ask the players if it's been a distraction for them. If it has, then they've done a nice job of hiding it because when we're on this court, these guys get after it, and that's all I can say is I don't even think of it when we're on the court, and I'm sure that they don't either. At least I can't tell if they do.
Coach, with this compacted schedule, does this change the way you coach, using your bench more throughout the season?
A little bit, but everybody has a schedule like that, so I won't be the only one making adjustments.
Have you looked at the schedule at all? Or?
I looked at just the first game. And I know we go on the road, I think to Sacramento or Golden State after that. and then we come back home, but I don't know who we play when we come back home. So, I try to take literally our games and even our practices one at a time. I don't want to look too far ahead because when you do, then you might miss a little thing that you need to be able to perfect in order to get better. Say one more time.
Trying to say with the uncertainty with everything going on these past few days, what instances have you leaned on Kobe and Fisher in terms of how to address the team versus your one-to-one seasons?
When we had our team meeting before training camp started, I asked Kobe and Fish if they wanted to address the team, not because of the stuff that was swirling around, but just because those guys have been here a long time. They've helped this franchise and this city reach heights that not many people can surpass, and so out of respect for them being captains, I gave them an opportunity to speak to the team about whatever they wanted to, and that's about it. Other than that, they've just been practicing. I've been coaching.
Coach, what's the idea of bringing Jordan Messina? What is he bringing?
Well, the first thing that he brought to the team, I thought it was really, really cool and hip and all that. And I got a car deal for myself and 3 of my assistants, Quinn Schneider, John Kuster, and Chuck Person with Santa Monica Audi. And I tell you what, they gave me a sweet AAL. And our video guy, Patrick O'Keefe, he comes up to the office after practice yesterday, and he stops in my office. He says, "Hey, Coach, I got to go for a second. I got to take Coach Messina to pick up his loaner car." And I said, "Man, Coach Messina, he hadn't been here long. I've been coaching a long time in the NBA. How does he get a loaner car? Let alone," I said, "Patrick, what kind of loaner car does he have?" And Patrick said, "Coach, he outdid you. He's getting a Maserati." So Coach Messina's imprint, obviously, will be very big while he's here. So follow his lead.
How tough is it to play 3 games in 3 days right out of the bat?
I don't know. I've never done that before, but I look at it this way. Some of these old school guys like Mitch Kupchak and that are around here, Coach Burka, they were here back in the day when they had to fly commercial, check their own bags in, and play back to back to back to back. So if they can do it, we better be able to do it.
These early practices, has there been a learning of old habits?
I tell you what, surprisingly, no. We thought that we would see more old habits, but our guys have done a tremendous job of picking up on the concepts right away. One of the things that we want to try to change is on pick and roll situations. We want to jump out and attack the ball. If we could do it, we're going to try to do it early and see where it goes. And literally, we've only seen them push the ball towards the baseline maybe once or twice at most in the 3 or 4 practices that we've had. So, they've been doing that for years. So to make that adjustment that quickly is very impressive.
Coach, what have you learned from the players?
I learned that all I got to do is do my job, and they're going to allow me to coach them, and hopefully that won't change.
You seem, from my experience, to be generally an upbeat personality. It seems to be positive. Is there a time when a coach needs to, whether it's in a game or in practice, lose the temper a little bit, show a little bit of ire, anger, anything like that? Can you talk about when those moments are appropriate?
It's hard to say. It just kind of happens. I've lost my cool a couple of times. You can ask my wife, and she knows. Like, see these cool cufflinks.
Oh no!
Come on, let's show him the cufflinks because he's always clean. But see, I can't afford those because when I take my hand and slam it against the chalkboard every once in a while, they break or they bust. So I keep getting cheap ones so that I don't lose the type of money that Jim Hill spends on here. but now, having said that, no. Having said that, though, he's clean though, and I like it. I do like it. Always.
So there's a place to lose a little temper.
Yeah, there's a time and a place. There's a time and a place. But you know what? When you have guys that are willing to do the job the right way, then in my opinion, hey, why not work with them? Why not teach them to get from point A to point B? You don't necessarily have to beat them to death or yell